Join ForumIAS Academy, trusted by hundreds of toppers, including IAS Rank 1 Shruti Sharma.
Hi, my name is Krishnan. I'll be doing the Hindu news analysis for the day. These are the 5 articles that we'll be seeing today. We'll also be doing some previous year questions since prelims is around the corner. Let us get into the first topic. So this topic is about Tamil Nadu government banning the online gambling games. So what has happened is the bill was passed 4 months ago, but only now the governor has given his assent. So let us see what is the issue in this. So why is this in news? Because only now the governor has given his assent. So it is in the news. So the bill has now become Tamil Nadu Prohibition of Online Gambling and Regulation of Online Games Act. So why did the bill become controversial? Why did the governor did not give his assent 4 months back? Was because governor said state assembly had no legislative competence. That is, he is telling in the concurrent, this is neither in the state list nor in the concurrent list. So state government cannot make laws on this, and he sent it back to the state. But what the state did, it re-adopted the bill and sent it back to the governor. So the governor just kept it like that. But what the union minister says is betting and gambling is a part of state list only. He's telling it is in entry 34 of the state list. So online gaming came under the jurisdiction of states too. This is what the union minister had to say. So what happened in the meanwhile, the Tamil Nadu state legislature, the MLAs, they got miffed by the fact that the governor was sitting on the bill for a long time. So they passed the resolution saying that there should be a mechanism for time-bound assent for the bills. So in the constitution, there is no time limit within which the governor should give his assent, right? So the government can sit on the bill indefinitely. Here, the government sat on the bill for 4 months. So the Tamil Nadu state legislature, their MLAs, they passed the resolution saying the governor cannot go on doing this indefinitely. So what the governor did here, he took a very contradicting stand. So some time back, an ordinance was passed for banning this online gaming. Here he took a different stand, like he signed it. But when bill came for giving assent, he did not sign it. So this was a very contradicting stand, right? And when the bill was under consideration, he even met e-gaming representatives. So this is like lobbying, right? So e-gaming representatives will come and lobby. So governor should not give a chance for these people to lobby. So what happened? This move was criticized, and see, he sat on the bill for like 4 months. So, and there was no official communication from the Raj Bhavan as to why the bill was not approved. So he was sitting on it for 4 months. So officially, the governor should tell no why he is sitting, what is wrong with the bill. So there was no communication from his side. So this is very puzzling because some time back there was the NEET exemption bill. It was sent to the governor. Now it is awaiting presidential assent. But there the governor gave reasons as to why he did not accept it. There was official communication from his side. So this NEET exemption bill it says Tamil Nadu will not be a part of NEET because of various historical reasons with Tamil Nadu. So he has sent it to the president. But here he gave reasons. But for online gaming, he did not give reasons. So it was very contradictory. But finally he has now given assent to the bill. So now the question comes, how do we implement it? So it is crystal clear that it should be implemented in conjunction with the IT Act 2000. So why was there a need to ban this online gaming? Because a lot of suicides were happening in Tamil Nadu because people have been losing money in this online gaming apps. So first thing is suicide. Then we had financial distress to families and health issues. Like people were losing money and they had a lot of health issues because of it. So online gaming was banned, and these are the issues that were coming up because of online gaming. So Act bans game of chance. So what is game of chance? It's like there's something called as game of skill and game of chance. So A game of skill is like you have 11 players in a cricket team. Like there are a lot of apps, right? So you choose all these 11 players based on their past performance. You'll see their analytics and all those things. So that is game of skill. So game of chance is like you leave everything to chance. So it is banned in various countries and states. So rummy and poker is like game of chance. So this act bans all games of chance with respect to rummy and poker. So finally, what we are saying, we need to strike a balance. So now we have a regulatory authority. So the act will have a regulatory authority in Tamil Nadu that will regulate and restrict games. But what the editorial is arguing is, do not restrict games that are not banned under the act. So they are telling you restrict only games of chance. So you don't restrict every game that is there in the industry. So finally, what the editorial is saying, see, it is an ever expanding digital one. So we should create an environment for healthy online games. So rather than blindly having a blanket ban on all games, the editorial is telling you create an healthy atmosphere for online games. So this is what this article is about. Now let us move on to the next topic. This topic is about online dispute resolution method and how it can reduce pendency in judiciary. So you all know India's increasing burden of pending cases, both in High Court and Supreme Court. We have thousands of pending cases. What the authors are trying to say here is there's something called as online dispute redressal method, which has the potential to ensure justice for all. That is, if justice delayed is justice denied, right? So you cannot keep having these cases pending for a very long time. So what it will do, it will ensure quicker access to justice. So even the law minister has talked about the need for institutional arbitration. So this will also help something called as ease of doing business. So you might have heard of ease of doing business. This is given by World Bank. So of late, India has done very well in the ease of doing business. See, it was in 142nd rank among 190 countries in 2014. In 2019, it came up to 63rd rank. But there are specific sectors inside the ease of doing business wherein our country is not doing well, which is enforcing contract. India is now ranked at 163. Previously, it was 186. So there's only slight marginal improvement. So what is the problem here? To enforce a contract in India, it is taking 4 years and 31% of the cost of the claim. But the same thing, if you go to a court to enforce a contract, what will happen in Brazil? 2 years, 22% of the claim. Mexico, 341 days, 33% of the claim. Vietnam, 400 days and 29% of the claim. So what will happen? Eventually, investors will not see India as a preferred destination for arbitration, right? So what has happened? What reputation has India got so far? It is arbitration unfriendly. So a committee was set up under Sri Krishna. So what he is telling, so in India there is a lack of preference for institutional arbitration over ad hoc arbitration. So people are not preferring institutional arbitration, and there is frequent interference from the judiciary, from who will be appointing the arbitrator and how the award will be enforced. On those things, there is interference from judiciary. And what is happening, even if the arbitral awards are given, it is set aside citing public policy. So these are the things which is making India unfavorable as an arbitration destination. So keeping all this in mind, there were few amendments in 2019 and 2015. So what has happened? So before, for everything, public policy was used as a ground for setting aside the award. Now the definition has been narrowed down. So the government cannot use public policy as a ground for setting aside award. So this is a welcome step, right? And from ad hoc arbitration, now the focus has moved to institutional arbitration. So this is also a good thing. But even after all this, India is not a preferred destination. So Indian businessmen themselves don't use Indian arbitration. So where do they go? The most preferred destination is Singapore. So Singapore International Arbitration Center. Singapore International Arbitration Center. It is the global number one in enforcing contracts. See here, Singapore International Arbitration Center. Keep this in mind. It's the global number one in enforcing contracts. So how do we overcome this? How do we emerge as the emerge as a preferred destination. So technology is the only answer. Already we've learned this during the COVID lockdown times. So there's universal dissemination of online technology. So there are a lot of advantages that ODR can provide. It can reduce the burden on the codes, it can save time and cost, it can provide effective resolutions. And ODR involves multi-channel communication, case management systems, automated case flows, digital signature and stamping, blockchain, natural language processing, artificial intelligence, machine learning. So it involves so many things that it can reduce the cost, it can give quicker access to justice, and even the uh, awards and judgments will not be delayed. It will be very quick. So private companies have already started using this, and even Niti Aayog says India is uniquely positioned to emerge as the epicenter for developments in ODR. So the stage is set right. So the authors are telling, even if you had missed the bus, even if you had missed the bus earlier, all is not lost. Even now we can start working on ODR and we can emerge as a preferred destination for dispute resolution. So what is the road that lies ahead? So legislature, executive, and judiciary must work together, and Reserve Bank of India, Payment Corporation of India, Open Network for Digital Commerce. All these people should come together and have ODR mechanisms in their initiatives. So these things they can think upon and ponder upon and come to a conclusion, so that ODR in India will be a preferred destination. So what is the way forward? So ODR as a default dispute resolution tool. So whenever there's a dispute, online dispute resolution should be the default dispute resolution. So before going to the courts, before exploring other avenues, the default dispute resolution tool should be ODR only. How you can do this? You can do this through legislation. That is, you can make laws on these areas. So those who opt for this, what we can do for them, we can reduce stamp duty and court fees. So next, what problems we have? We have infrastructure problems. So, and we have digital divide also. So few people have internet connection and few don't have. Urban rural divide is there. We have to curb those digital divides. How do we curb them? Already we have Aadhaar Kendras, right? Those Kendras we can use as ODR kiosk. So, and each court can have an ODR cell. And recently, Finance Minister has said that 7,000 crores will be spent for the third phase of e-courts project. So, if 7,000 crores is spent on it, a portion of it can be spent on online dispute resolution mechanism as well. So, and next, what we are telling, use ODR as a grievance redress mechanism also. So, for citizens, it will be very convenient because if there is any problem with the government, citizen can usually use ODR as grievance redress mechanism. So why you are doing all this means, if if there is increasing pendency, it will make people lose trust in judiciary. So it's high time we realize all these things and shift to ODR. If most of us move to ODR, what will happen? The burden on courts will reduce, immediate justice, instant justice, all these things will get. So finally, what the authors are telling is all is not lost. Even if we start now, we can emerge victorious. So this is what the authors are trying to say in this article. Now let us move on to the next article. This article is about how parliamentary committees help the efficient functioning of parliament itself. So let us have a look at this article. See, you all know that there is huge volume and scale of operation in Indian Parliament, right? Or the Indian Parliament represents 1.3 billion Indian. So they have a lot of work there. So they cannot do all the work by itself. So what medium was devised? So the parliamentarians came up with something called as parliamentary committee. So this will have a lot of MPs and experts also. So what will happen? Members will converge every few months and debate on important issues like security, technology, whatever it is. They'll converge every few months and they'll discuss on those things. So, and they'll not just randomly discuss. What will happen is high amount of work and research will be put into each and every issue, and at the end of it the work will be very nuanced. Like this, it will not be like a very general debate or conversation. They'll have very expertise and nuanced work. So but what has happened of late, there's a lot of political rancor and polarization. So like there is no deliberation on the floor of parliament. Like people just fight on the well of the parliament, right? There is no discussion, there's no debate. So this is also reflected. See, in the 17th Lok Sabha, only 14 bills have been referred for further examination. So 25% of the bills introduced were referred to the committees in 16th Lok Sabha. But see, in the 14th and 15th Lok Sabha, 71% was referred in 15th Lok Sabha and 60% in the 14th Lok Sabha. So what has happened of late? Uh, the bills are not being sent for further scrutiny. So this is actually something very wrong. So what will happen? This will lead to lack of expert scrutiny. So the bills and acts will not have an all-encompassing view. It will be a very narrow, shallow document. So committees have always been in existence. So structured committee system was established in 1993 only, but individual committees have always been there. So here we look about five significant committees which was there even before independence. So had a committee on citizenship clause, Northeast Frontier Assam Tribal and Excluded Area Subcommittee, which had Bordoloi talking about how the tribal way of life, their land, everything should be protected. And even Adivasi leader Jaipal Singh had a role to play in this committee. Next, we had the excluded and partially excluded areas other than Assam subcommittee, expert committee on financial provisions of the Union Constitution, advisory committee on the subject of political safeguards for minorities. This is a very famous committee which was headed by Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel. So these are very significant committees which played a huge role in shaping the future of the country. So what conclusion do we come to? So committees have been doing monumental work since independence. So Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha both have standing committee and ad hoc committees. What is standing committees? They are always going to be there. What is ad hoc committees? If there is any emergency, if there is any urgency for that particular matter, these committees will be established. And once the work is done, they'll be abolished. So this is the difference between standing and ad hoc committees. And we have joint committees also for both the houses together. So what is the role of committees? As we all know, they'll go into the details of a specific piece of legislation. They'll analyze the impact and make their recommendations. So what the government will do, although the recommendations are non-binding, the government is required to table an action report. So, but the recommendations are non-binding only. But what it does is it ensures legislative oversight over executive. So the executives are not answerable to the people, right? But they're answerable to the legislators. So if the legislators keep doing this, even though the recommendations are non-binding, the executives will know. See, someone is there to watch us. So they'll have some accountability. So see, let us see what are the type of work that they have done recently. Committee on Rural Development and Panchayati Raj. So what they found is that estimates always revised estimates always fell short of the budget estimates, and the ministry has spent only 701 crore out of the total 905 crore allocation. So these are the few things that they have found. So parliamentary committees are special because see, in parliament MPs have to take party line, so they keep fighting with each other. And see, the proceedings of the parliament is live telecast, so they'll know people are watching, and so they'll be dramatic. They'll take all political stand. But what will happen in parliamentary committees? It is not the parliamentary committee sessions are not telecast, right? So there, what they'll do, they'll sit with experts, they'll discuss, and they form consensus on important issues. So in this way, parliamentary committees are very efficient mechanisms. So, and let us see what are the other monumental work that they are doing right now. So Digital Data Protection Bill, this is also seen as one of the best works of parliamentary committees. So since 2017 Puttaswamy judgment, what is the Puttaswamy judgment? Right to privacy as a fundamental right. The parliamentary committees have been working on these issues. So soon after the judgment, Justice Sri Krishna Committee was formed. So they were tasked with preparing a data protection framework for India, and this led to the Personal Data Protection Bill 2019. And even this was found to be inadequate, and it was sent for joint parliamentary committees research, and it was headed by P.P. Chowdhury. And later, because of this P.P. Chowdhury committee, new draft Digital Data Protection Bill came into being, and this was sent for public consultation. So you see how many stages this has crossed, and how many what are the expert opinion it gets. So all these things will happen in the parliamentary committee. And you see, even issues that are not politically significant are taken up for research and work in the parliamentary committees. Because you see, politically they may not be important, but national security wise they might be important, right? So, for example, you take defense shipyards. So politically they are not very important, but public accounts committee, it flagged a lot of issues that are there in this sector. So they are telling a lot of things are not going well in the defense shipyard. So have a look at this, like that they will show it to the executives. So what are the other important bills going through the same process? Prohibition of child marriage amendment bill. You know what is happening here? From 18 to 21, the age of marriage for women is going to be increased. So they are processing and deliberating here. Anti-maritime privacy bill. So UNCLOS, UNCL OS provisions. They are going to include certain provisions that came from UNCLOS, and Gen Viswas bill, which focuses on media, agriculture, and so many other things. Wildlife Protection Amendment Bill, this is going to increase the number of species that will be protected. So they are deliberating here. And Competition Amendment Bill, Electricity Amendment Bill, Criminal Procedure Bill, Multi-State Cooperative Society, all these things they are doing research and they will come with expert opinion. So here the parliamentary committee is doing a very good work. So what is the way ahead? So the authors here are telling there should be compulsory referral of all bills. So just sending 15% of the bills, 20% of the bills and all is not important. You should send all bills so that there will be expert scrutiny. And you should arm them with more powers. Right now it is non-binding, right? But you give them more powers so that executives will be accountable to the legislature. So this is also very important. So what they are telling is, if you do all this, there will be a vibrant parliamentary ecosystem. So arming and strengthening the parliamentary committee is very important for a vibrant parliamentary ecosystem. This is what they are trying to tell in this article. Now let us move on to the next article. This article is about Large Hadron Collider. You might have heard it sometime back because they have a lot of detectors in them, and two such detectors, Atlas and CMS, they only found the Higgs boson in 2012. So we'll see in this article, we'll see how they work. So where can you find the Large Hadron Collider? It's in CERN. So this is in Switzerland, European Organization for Nuclear Research. So what do? They conduct experiments with highly energized subatomic particles. So true to their name, Large Hadron Collider, right? So true to their name, it is world's largest science experiment, and they have collider in the name. And what does that collider mean? They'll accelerate two beams of particle in opposite direction, and they'll make them smash head on. So because of that, lot of energy will be produced. So that is the role of collider. And of course the particles that are used are hadrons. So what is hadron? It is a subatomic particle made of smaller particles, and it uses protons, which are made up of quarks and gluons. So how does it work? It energizes the protons by accelerating them through a narrow circular pipe that is 27 km long. So this pipe encircles two D-shaped magnetic fields, which is created by almost 9,600 magnets. So by what will happen by switching the direction of the magnetic field clockwise and anti-clockwise, what will happen? They'll do this very fast, and because of this, protons will be accelerated through the beam pipe. So eventually, what will happen? Protons will move at 99.99% of the speed of light. So it will be very fast. So what will happen in the process? They'll get tremendous amount of energy. So what will be the effect of the collision? So since the movement is both clockwise and anti-clockwise, anti-parallel beams of energized protons collide head-on. So when they collide head-on, that is the point of so like this and like this they'll collide. So this point of collision, right? So this is the point of collision. So here you will have energized protons. So this is equal to the sum of energy carried by two beams. So So what is the highest center of mass collision that has been achieved so far? So here they have achieved it, that is 13.6 trillion electron volts. So this is the highest. So but this energy is very less only. This you'll get when you clap your hands. So I mean it is that low. But what is the energy density within an atom? So this is the atom. Within this, the energy density will be very high. So that is the point of doing this experiment. So at the moment of collision, there is chaos, of course, and a lot of energy is created, and parts of it coalesce into different subatomic particles. You can see it. This is the point of collision coming from the beam, circular, clockwise and anti-clockwise, and this is the point of collision. So, and some rare particles are created through this collision. So if the probability for the creation of this particle is 0.001 percentage, then how many collisions you will have to observe? 10 million collisions you will have to observe. So far what the LHC has found. So how they actually find is they have 9 detectors. So Atlas and CMS, they only discovered Higgs boson. We saw that previously, and every year the detectors detect 30,000 TB worth data. By getting all this data, what they did, they have tested a lot of predictions, what the standard model of particle physics says. They have tested that, and the current reigning theory of subatomic particles, they have studied that. Pentaquarks, tetraquarks, they have studied about them, and they have studied them and have seen if the properties are in line with theoretical expectations, and they have pieced together information about other natural phenomena like what happened after Big Bang. All these things they are studying with LHC. So what is LHC's future? So right now LHC's future is very bleak because they are not able to find a lot of things like what is the nature of dark matter, why is gravity such a weak force. All these things they are not able to find. So LHC has not been able to confirm what the already standard models also couldn't find. So they are telling there's nothing special about it because even the standard models are not able to find, right? So what they are planning to do is they are planning to improve the LHC's luminosity by 10 times more by 2027. So in 3 years, 10 times its luminosity will be increased. So they are telling if we build bigger and better versions of LHC, we'll be able to do enhanced research. So China and CERN are on way to build such machines, but what scientists are telling is, see, you're going to spend billions on these things, but if you spend the money on other colliders, which are not as expensive as LHC, you can here the results are uncertain. But if you are going to spend money on smaller colliders, you can get definite results. Like that, scientists are telling. So this is the working of LHC. Let us move on to the next article. So this is a very important article. So you all know, right, that if a Hindu who happens to be a Dalit converts to Islam or Christianity, he will not get SC status. If he converts to Sikhism, Jainism, Buddhism, he'll get SC status. So this is the rule in India right now. So what happened, sometime back there was a committee called Ranganath Mishra Committee. It recommended SC status to Hindu converts to Islam and Christianity. See, STs, if they convert to Islam and Christianity, they'll still have their ST status. SCs, if they convert to Jainism, Sikhism, Buddhism, they'll have their SC status, but only if they convert to Islam and Christianity, they'll not have their SC status. So Ranganath Mishra, what he said give SC status to them also. But what the Supreme Court said is, the committee's work is not perfunctory. What is perfunctory? It is not a good research. So whatever conclusion they came to, they have not come to that conclusion using good research work. And it has also told the government that it should revisit. Earlier the government has said it will not give SC status to Hindu converts to Islam and Christianity, but Supreme Court has said kindly revisit it. So why the government has taken such a stand? Because the government had dismissed the report calling it myopic. Myopic means short-sightedness. So you are telling this with short-sightedness. and they are doubting the expertise of the report. They are telling report was prepared within 4 walls of a room. You did not do ground research. That's why you are coming with all these recommendations like that. They are telling. So what the government has now done is it has formed a new committee under Justice K.G. Balakrishnan. He was the previous Chief Justice of India. So he's been given 2 years to look into this issue. So what is government stand? Government says those who leave the Hindu fold cannot claim the same benefits as those who choose to stay behind. So this is actually a valid argument from the government side, I would say. So, however, some of the opinion that even if they leave the Hindu fold, caste oppression continues to haunt them. This is also true, right? Even if you convert to Sikhism, even if you convert to Christianity, if you are a Dalit, you'll still be oppressed, and because of your social capital, you will be forced to face a lot of things. So, what does Justice Cole said is, so he said the court will look into the fact that whether caste system from Hinduism is imported to Islam and Christianity. He's telling right now I cannot come to that conclusion. We'll have an inquiry, and even the additional Solicitor General says we'll wait till the committee, that is the Balakrishnan committee, completes its inquiry. So what he's saying is, so right now I don't think there is any need to get into constitutional issues. Let the committee give its report. So what you're supposed to know from this article is, SC converts from Hinduism to Islam and Christianity do not get SC status. So this might actually come as a prelims question. So keep this in mind. So let us move on to the previous year questions. So this is a very famous thing. INDC. Have you heard of INDC, Intended Nationally Determined Contributions? So this is the plan of action outlined by countries of the world to combat climate change. So you should be aware of what is India's INDC. So how much fossil fuel, how much carbon control they are going to do. All this India also has INDC. You should memorize those facts. So what is the Uday scheme? If you know the full form, you'll know the answer. Ujjwal, Discom, Assurance Yojana. So what is the right answer here? Providing for financial turnaround and revival of power distribution companies. So Discoms are debt ridden, so they have a lot of debt in their names, so they are not functioning properly also. So Uday scheme was introduced to help these power distribution companies. So which one of the following books of ancient India is the love story of son of the founder of Sunga dynasty? So this is Malavika Agnimitra. It is a Sanskrit play written by Kalidasa. This has the story of the son of the founder of Sungamitra. So son of the founder is Agnimitra, and who's Malavika? She is a maid in the court. So the son actually falls in love with the maid. So this is one of the best Sanskrit plays written by Kalidasa. So the answer is B, Malavika Agnimitra. So in the context of which of the following do you sometimes find the term amber? This is actually very sitter, right? Amber box, blue box, green box. So where do you find all these things? You will find this in WTO of S, agreement and agriculture. So that's all for the day. Thanks for tuning in. You can follow us on YouTube, Instagram, Telegram, and Facebook. Thanks for tuning in. If you like this work, you can comment, subscribe, share, and like the video. I'll see you on another video. Thanks.